Hello, welcome. For me, it's Tuesday, maybe for you too. And today, I'm coming from my space on a chair. There's multiple reasons for this. One reason is maybe you are at work. Maybe you're not watching this right now while you are at work. But maybe you're going to watch this some other time and you can take something away for work. So welcome, welcome. Hello. I just came back from my walk, and some of you already know I saw a bald eagle. It's just always such a pleasure to see something majestic like that in our environment, so close by. And let me see how I can place this. And therefore, I was a little bit in a hurry, and but here we are. So if you haven't already, grab a chair. A sturdy one would be ideal, not one that swivels. Obviously, if you're at work, you might have a swivel one. So I hope that it's not going to distract you too much if you have a swivel one. So all it takes, if you do have a swivel one, is more control. And so here are a few reasons why I want to do a chair yoga practice, or why we can go to a chair yoga practice. Is, again, one, maybe you're at work, and then two, if you have any ailments or something hurts where you can't put pressure on your body, or due to age, either one is a possibility. Age, we all will get there, so maybe you won't be able to use this now, but in 20 years from now, and if YouTube still exists, which I strongly believe, you can come back to this practice. So make sure to mark this one, save this one in like some special folder that you know to come back to this one. Then I also wanted to share about, there's sometimes little things that can get us out of our routines. And besides doing a chair practice, there's also different reasons why we get to a yoga practice. And one of the reasons is maybe you exercise on a regular basis and you have learned or heard and recognized that maybe, and that yoga is a good addition to that, to make you feel stretched and strengthened at the same time on a low pressure side, which obviously, as I said, chair yoga is like the next step if you want to have less pressure, because obviously if you ever done downward dog, plank pose, any of those, and you stay a little longer, it can still get, like, again, feel on your wrists and such. And so there are other reasons also to calm ourselves down. Sometimes we use it to get away from something, like we want to focus physically, so we get out of our heads. And I want to make sure that, or the way that I see yoga fitting into this practice, right, is anything that I do. I'm not just a yoga teacher, I'm a mindfulness teacher at heart. And that part of yoga practice that I'm integrating into these weekly sessions is an all-encompassing life experience, a life practice, right? So even if we're doing something physically right now, especially yoga, but it can be any exercise really, physical exercise, is that we can then cope with life better. So I don't want you to see yoga or any of the other things that you do as an escape, more as a coping skill, right? So there is no change that you really are doing. It's more of a mental adjustment. Because if we are seeing it as an escape, that means you're going to come back to your life at some point. But what if this practice is part of your life? What if this practice isn't taking you out of context, but take it into the context? Does that make sense? Because if we do that, then when I get into a difficult conversation, maybe thought processes, maybe there are things going on in the world, maybe you taking this in through news channels or whatsoever, is that I can come back to this practice of yoga, for example, or the practice of running and experiencing that piece of other practice, right? An exercise that I do into that sensation that I'm in. Meaning, for example, in yoga, we're going to be in a practice where it might feel a little bit rough, right? And I'm just talking a little bit here just to set you up in a different mindset, because I don't want us to just go into the practice and then, all right, that's it. Now off we go, right? I want the now be integrated into the next thing. And this is why sometimes other things can have a challenging time to turn it off. For example, if we're taking in news or whatever, something that is bothersome externally, work, whatever it is, right? If we're taking it in and taking it on, meaning it becomes who I am, then we have a problem, right? And that's where stresses can come up. That's where we can get into burnout. That's when we can have all these ailments that maybe are not really supportive for the rest of our lives. So now I spoke a lot. I'm just trying to adjust this. And we're going to go into our practice right now. So just keep this in mind for today's practice, is that we're not escaping, we're integrating. So when a thought comes up, so you can close your eyes now, take a deep breath in, exhale out, and just become aware of your breathing, how it comes into your body and goes out. And so, how do I want to integrate this into every day? Become aware of your body. Maybe you feel tension in your neck. That's how I felt this morning. Maybe you feel tension in your heart or gut. Might be all different for one another. We're just exploring our body and familiarizing ourselves with what we're sensing. Could be tension. And as we're breathing in, we're connecting it more and more to what's happening in our body. So if we're thinking about integrating it into our daily lives, maybe there are thoughts, maybe there are certain situations in your life that make you be distracted or want to escape into a practice, just like yoga or exercise. And instead of trying to resolve something or getting away from these sensations in our bodies, we're becoming aware and curious. Also noticing our thoughts, but not to feel like I need to control or want them to be a certain way, just practicing pure awareness. Just continue to breathe in, breathe out. Notice how the air is coming in and going out. And not to use any of our practices or exercises that we do as an escape, but more as an integration to our day. So as we become more aware of what's happening in our bodies, in our minds, releasing some of our stresses, we can slowly return back into the space that we're in. Slowly opening your eyes, familiarize yourself. I'm gonna just see how we can integrate some of the practices that we're doing today into our everyday. So I'm gonna start with, yeah, we'll see. You can hear me now. So I'm implementing this sound. So we're just gonna start rolling our shoulders back. That always feels good to me. Maybe here, my shoulders, we'll reverse it the other way around. And include your arms. Go backwards, open your arms, circle them all the way. Feel the openness. And just feel how you can integrate this as you're on a desk, for example. Reverse it the other way around. And making sure that we feel more open, especially if we're sitting at a desk a lot of times. You can even bring your hands onto your shoulders and circle them. And use your elbows as drawing a big circle around you. Like if you were squeezed between two walls, to make big circles. And again, so if we're at a desk oftentimes, it can feel tense around your necks, right? Holding a lot of tension in there. And breathe your arms up and exhale, fold forward. Let everything hang. You can even open your legs a little bit and just swing left and right. And then slowly, with your head heavy, slowly roll up one vertebrae after the other. And then again, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. And open your legs and just move left and right. It's obviously, if you're standing, you can also stand up. Do that. Maybe you can feel it all the way into your hips and sit back down. Slowly roll up. Let your head be last. And again, reach your arms up. Even bring your shoulders all the way up. Bring them down. Bring them up. And then exhale, fold over and lift yourself off the chair and just swing left and right. And slowly roll up. Either sitting on the chair, roll up, or standing up. I'm just going to do everything on the chair pose. And then we're going to bring your left arm over your head, holding onto the back of your chair if you have a back. If you don't have a back, you can also bring it to the back of your back, the lower back. Right? But if you have a back, you can bring it there. Make sure your shoulders slightly down, and then twist it. So bring your left shoulder back towards your left arm. Bring your right arm to your right left knee. Look behind you, nice twist. Keep breathing in, breathing out. Release, come back to center. Let's do this again. Bring your left arm over your head. Bring it behind you towards the chair, back of the chair or your lower back. Bring your right arm onto your knee and then twist further back. Right, at first you want to be a little bit more gentle. Breathing in, breathing out. And come back to center. And then do it again. Left arm around your head to the back. Hold on to the back of the chair. Switch that arm over. The right arm over to the left knee. Look back. Keep breathing in, breathing out. And come back to center. Now we do on the right arm. Bring your right arm around. Look back. Bring that left arm onto your right knee and feel a deeper twist. Keep breathing in and out. Release, come back to center. And again, bring that right arm over your head onto the chair behind you. Left arm on your right knee and twist back. Come back to center. And then one more time. Right arm over your head, holding on to the back of the chair. Bring that left arm to your right knee. Twist to the back. Maybe you can twist more or less. Just check in with your body. Come back to center. All right, we're gonna see how we're feeling. Again, roll your arms in that way. See how you're feeling, my back. Ooh. And then bring both arms to the back of the chair, lower back. I mean the lower, let me see like this, you can see to the lower here. Lift up your chest and look back. So you kind of pull back and look up and around. So you're opening your chest, holding onto a chair so that can really help you with the resistance, or rather stretching. Look up and around. So you kind of go up and around. Right? And then release. And then one of our favorites, bring that right ankle over your left knee and lean forward. That's like my absolute favorite. So that's kind of like pigeon pose on the ground, just with less pressure. And depending on how your ankle is feeling, you might want to support something underneath it, and just not putting pressure on your ankle, but more onto towards your knee, so you can feel it more in your sit bones. Keep breathing. And then release. Bring that right foot down. Bring that left leg up. Again, depending on your ankle situation, you can then lean forward, maybe more towards the knee, or more straight forward. So that all depends on where do you feel the pressure, right? If it's too much on your knee, then obviously go more to that ankle. If too much on your ankle, go more towards that knee. If it hurts on both ends, you can also reach that leg out so there is less pressure, and you might still feel a little bit in your sit bones. Keep breathing in and out. Release, let go. And we'll do it again a couple more times, like 3 times on each side, but we're switching it up. So bring that right foot up and lean forward. And again, when we repeat something, I was talking about this many times in the past few days, is when we repeat something, we can get a better sense of what it is. We don't have to do it faster. We can just get a better idea of like, oh, what's going on here, right? The same thing goes with stresses. If a stress, or rather a thought that stresses us out, it's not like stress is actually happening on its own, right? There's always an external, you can switch to the other side. There's always an external thing that's causing us to think about something that then causes us stress, right? So stress is not happening on its own. So when we feel stressed out, we're gonna notice like, oh, what are some thoughts that are coming up, right? And when these thoughts are reoccurring, if there's the same thing that is bothering us, we can switch back to the last time on that right side, then what we want to do is to recognize these patterns that we're having, right? Because the only way you can de-stress, you can feel better, is not to escape, because as I said, just because we have these practices that might help us to get away from those thoughts, no matter what you're gonna do, you're gonna come back to that thought at some point, right? Be it today or some other day or whenever. So escape is only temporary. Switch to the last time to the side. And so the whole idea here really is that when I'm revisiting a side, is noticing, oh, it's really tight here in my hip. Instead of giving up, I'm pushing more, right? So physically, we all can do this. But when it comes to mental, we want to be more careful, because by pushing through it, but also physical, actually, it doesn't matter. we want to be careful to just push through it, right? We want to be careful. We want to not do it at all, but we also don't want to overdo it. So that's where repetition is good. It can help us recognizing more like, oh, okay, that's where I need to step back a little bit. This is where I need to push forward a little bit, right? Talking about external factors that are coming in. The more you can place both feet on the ground, the more that there is external factors coming in, and the more I have these thoughts, then maybe I need to vary those inputs that are coming in to really feel more centered internally. And so that's where we can make these connections between a yoga practice and any other exercise that you do with the daily stresses that we're having, and that can then improve. Now we can get up. Another one of my favorites, you bring the chair in front of you, and then you walk back as far as you need to fully lengthen your back. So it's kind of like a flat back. Let me see. So you see more of a flat back. So I don't know if you can see yourself, probably not. So just get an idea of like, you don't want to be too down, you don't want to be too up. If you're too up, that means you got to walk further. If you are too down, then you might want to be stepping closer. So you just got to get an idea what that is. Breathe in into your back, breathe out, and lengthen. And that's another great one. You can do this standing up, or if you're at the desk, you can even do it while sitting down. So you're sitting on your chair and then you push yourself back. That's where it's great to have like a one with rolls. Keep breathing. And keep breathing in and out and really feel the lengthening of your back. If you feel comfortable, you can bend your knees slightly and come all the way down to the ground. So you can feel like the gravity taking over from some pressures in your back. Bend your knees slightly and then slowly roll up. And just extend that circulation. And then we do it one more time. Reach back, roll down all the way, bend your knees slightly, roll up into standing, and extend with your arms, circle around. Bring our chair back. And so, actually, keep it this way. And now we're going to go closer to the chair, and then we're stepping. Get my mat now. So if you have a mat nearby, you can also grab it so you have more grip. I'm going to keep my socks on for now. So you're standing in front of the chair and you step your right foot back and feel a nice stretch on your calf. So if you had a Charlie horse at some point, this will be perfect. I was walking the stairs early this morning, so that's too is perfect for that. So you can feel that heel is on the ground. Can maybe see that? So the back heel is on the ground, pushing. The front knee is nicely bent. And obviously, if you want to have an extra stretch, you can move further back. Keep that front knee over that heel and that back heel down, stretching. So that will give you extra stretch in the lower calf. So that's up to you. Then come back to center. So I'm going to not go all the way, but just in case you wanted to do that. Then we take your left leg back. Hold on to that chair. Really feel the lengthening back of that heel down. Feel that stretch right back there. Keep breathing. And then you can always adjust your front knee. So if you're adjusting it, as long as your front knee is over your ankle, you're perfect. If you want to go deeper, and you see now my knee goes further, I have to adjust my lower leg, right? So that's where the adjustments have to come in and your awareness of where you're at. Keep breathing. Come back to center, stand up. Just stand there for a moment, breathe in and out, see how you're feeling, how's your back, lower back, legs. do it again. Reach that left leg back. Have that heel down. So it's parallel. Check in. Bend that front knee. And then bring your arms up and over. So if you're okay standing on your 2 feet, you can do that. Otherwise, keep on holding right here. But otherwise, you can move back and just open your front chest. Get a slight back bend, because we're usually bent forward, right? And this way we can just do the opposite. Come back to center. Bring that leg forward. Reach that left leg back. Heel down, parallel. Front knee. See if you want to go deeper. Make sure you adjust accordingly. Bring your arms overhead and lean over to the back if that works for you. So again, if everything in your body feels good, you can do that. And then come back. Bend your knees and come back to standing. So we're going to do one more thing on the chair. And then we're going to go down on the ground. So we do like a whole circle from sitting to go to the floor. So if you're at work or if you want to use this for work, then obviously this is going to be your last practice for this one. Otherwise, if you have more time and space and you want to continue this, then obviously you can join us on the floor. But the last thing we're going to do is hold your right hand on that chair on the side. Make sure your shoulders are down. Bring that left arm up and then go over. And so what's nice with the chair, it can give you some direction on like not to go too far like this. So what we want, like we did before, is like when we did the back bend, we want to stay more in here, and the bend isn't really coming from here, it's coming from up here. So we're just going overhead, shoulders down. So that's why we want to have them underneath. You can even hold on to the leg here. Go overhead. So the bend, so you can see, if I go too far, you can see the back of this. So we don't want to see that. So we want to really stay up and around. Oftentimes we want to go deep, so we're like, oh, but then we're crunching here. We want to go up and over, and so we might not be able to go as far. Come back to center. Now hold again onto that leg. Bring that right arm over your head. Over. Too far. Keep breathing. Come back up. Now do this again. Over your head. Only go as far as you can without shortening over here. So stay long. Come back to center. We'll do it one time each side. Up and over. Come back. Up and over. Oops. Come back. Now we can come onto the floor. Actually, let me do this all the way. Take a drink. Water will be perfect to re-energize us, though that was water. Anyway, so I'm gonna put you lower. So you can bring your legs together. Hold on to your ankles. Reach your chest up. So the same thing that we did on the chair, backwards and to the side, is we want to stay strong and up, and then reach forward and then round our backs. Keep breathing in, breathing out. Feel those hips opening up. Maybe you feel some tension. Maybe you need to step back a little bit and start again. And again, these little adjustments, just like in life. You don't need to change a whole lot to get some, some new perspectives. So even if we are doing this stretch here, instead of trying to push ourselves, we're just gonna gently check in. It's like, all right, this feels good. I can go further. All right. Oh no, this is pulling it. So we'll come back and adjust again. And that's what we want for life, is to really explore our lives as it is, not looking at I'm the problem, this is a problem for me. Like, the more I can distance myself and just see it as what it is, the easier it becomes. So just like here, I feel tiny sometimes. It's not that, oh, I am not flexible. Like, that's not the focus. The focus is like, oh, my hips can only do this far. All right, let me work with that. So that's kind of like the idea, right? Because we humans, just to be frank, we are very ambitious beings. We want it a certain way, and if it's not like that, there's the problem. And so, any other wishes do we have for right now? Is there anything that you want to do before we lie down on the ground? All right then, because I don't know if it's delayed or anything. You can go lie down on the ground. Just put this right here. Lie down. Oh, that's a little funny. Let me do it like that. There you go. Much better. Lie down. And then again, you can open like what we did here, the same thing, lying down, right? So you lie down, you open your legs like this, but lie down. And then push your right hand onto that right knee down. Release. Take your left hand and push down. So you're lying down, I'm sitting up, just so it's easier to see. Right. There you go. So you have your feet together, your hips are open, and you just breathe. And then one thing that we did in one of the yoga sessions that I host is to release some tension in our lower back. And I'm doing this so I remember for my group next time. So place your feet on the ground. You're lying down anyway, so you're placing your feet on the ground. You lift your hips up and you put the block right under your hips. So, like that. Your knees are bent, lifting up, put it right under, and then just rest right there. Okay, all right. So while you have your block under your hips, you rest here. You have your hands on your belly, and just breathe. This hurts your lower back, you can remove the block. This is just, it can add some release. And then just reach your legs up onto that block so you feel a real weight on that lower back also. So if that feels good to you, perfect. If not, feel free to bring those legs back down. And lift those hips up and slowly bring that lower back down. See how you're feeling. You can bring your knees into your chest. Move left and right to massage it out. Place your feet down, straighten your legs in front of you. Bring your hands side by side your body. If you have a blanket nearby, I recommend you grab this so you can fully relax and release. move up just a tad. Breathe in, breathe out. Notice your body releasing into the ground. And if having your legs straight out is hurting you anywhere in your lower back, feel free to bend your knees. Otherwise, you can just have them elongated. Have your arms away from your upper body. And check in with your body. How do you feel? Today's practice was more here to give you a peace of mind, stay more grounded, and focused in simple practices. Nothing strenuous, just awareness of our body and mind. Slowly move your fingers and toes. Bring life back into your body. Bring your hands over your head and stretch. Give yourself a nice stretch. Bend your knees, turn to any side that feels right for you. Keep your eyes closed. And slowly push yourself up into a seated position. Keep your eyes closed. And again, check in with your body. As we're about to conclude our session, how does your body feel? What worked? What didn't work? What feels great? What still needs some more attention? And then bring your hands to your heart and thank yourself for today's practice. And see how can you integrate this awareness and observation into your everyday, so that you can, even in the craziest of crazy, you can bring some peace of mind. I bow to you. Namaste. Thank you for coming, and I hope it worked for you today. Take care. See you soon.